I get a question pretty frequently that I think deserves an answer, and that is people who get excited about apologetics and then want to start a fire in their own church with these new ideas for them. And I think that's fabulous, but sometimes they run into difficulty, and so they want me to give them the secret of getting their own church involved in apologetics. And that's kind of a tough nut to crack. It's difficult partly because pastors have lots of concerns, lots of needs coming in from lots of different directions. Everybody wants a piece of the pie, a piece of the action, that kind of stuff, and so it makes it kind of difficult. So I'm going to offer some suggestions that I can't guarantee are going to make a difference in your church, but at least can get you going. I mentioned in the last chapter, I think, of the book on tactics that if you want to start a fire, you can't start with wet wood, right? You have to start with dry tinder. So you gather the dry tinder, you get it together, you light the dry tinder, you build a small blaze, and when you put the wet wood on top of it, well, this dries out the wood and then the blaze gets burning. And I use that as a kind of analogy to what oftentimes happens in a church. You're always going to have a contingent of people that are really interested in the same things you are. Maybe you don't know who they are, but they're there. There are people who are unsatisfied with the pablum they've been getting maybe in the local church. They are unsatisfied with the lack of intellectual stimulation. They have questions of their own that they'd like to have answered, and they're willing to do some work, but they think they're all alone too. So the key is find the dry tinder. Those people are your dry tinder. Poke around, ask questions, find the people of kindred spirit in your local group, and then try to gather them together. Have coffee at your house, invite them over for dessert, get together in some unofficial fashion. You don't need your pastor's approval for this. You don't need to make a big program out of it. Just start with a small group of people, like-minded, kindred spirit, who are beginning to have a passion for this kind of thing, and stoke that fire. You can use stand to reason materials. You can take, say, for example, the relativism DVD training for small groups. There's 4 or 5 sessions that are easy to get a group around for a short-term commitment. You can have True You. We also provide that. The Truth Project. I mean, there's lots of different things that are moderate commitment that you can begin to draw a group. Capture those names, make friends with them, and start going. When you get a committed group, people that really get the same vision for your church that you have, then try to make yourselves available to the larger church as a resource. Not with a cocky attitude, we're smarter than everybody else, but as a resource for the church to help your pastor do a job that he may see needs to be done, but doesn't have the time to do it. You say, I'm going to come alongside and help. You have people with questions, refer them to me, refer them to our group. If we don't have the answers, we'll try to get them. That's the way I think you get started, in a way that will help your pastor rather than make his job feel more difficult.